Would you like to be able to walk in a room and be seen as highly credible? And what this means for you is that you are truly seen and remembered because of that credibility. And what this really means is gaining three more clients to your inner circle offer. And it's all because of one thing: your appearance. That's what we're going to talk about today. How you can really have that appearance that really catches people's eye, but also help them understand, hey, I am a 6 to 8 level female entrepreneur and I get my clients amazing results. Also, we are going to be going over a couple things of why you might not be getting that credibility as you are entering rooms. So let's get started. First of all, though, hello, my name is Nikki Henricks, and I am a personal brand stylist. And I really help 6 to 8 figure female founders, I like to call them faith-filled founders or female entrepreneurs, really help their appearance, their look, be brand aligned. And that really helps them be seen, remembered, and then hired. So let's dive in today. We're going to be talking about really having your appearance match your identity. Fashion, our look. Here's the thing: it isn't just a selfish reason of wanting to look good and professional and highly credible. It is really important for prospects, potential clients to see in us. And there is someone named Natalie Dawson. She is a woman, a female entrepreneur that has created a $250 million business, helped create it, and some other businesses. And she did a reel recently where she was talking about fashion and your look. She said, I used to stay in, be comfy, stay in sweats until I realized that my appearance, my fashion is my identity. And it is so true. Whether you want it to be the case or not, it just is how it is in our world. One way that I'd like to really help you understand this and really see how, as people, we do look at something and really in our mind think like, okay, this is how credible this thing is, or this is how much I would be willing to pay for this thing based on the appearance. So I want you to think about if you went to a restaurant and you go in the building and sit down, and the tablecloth is pretty cheap. And then they bring you some bread and butter, and it's on paper plates with plastic silverware. And you're like, okay, well, hopefully the food is good, right? So then you open your menu and it's in French. Okay, that's interesting. Like it doesn't, the rest of the restaurant doesn't feel French. And you notice that there's very limited selection, but one of the items on the menu is a pasta dish that is $95. And you're like, well, what? Do I have the right menu? Are they playing a prank, right? This, okay, restaurant with paper plates and plastic cutlery is wanting me to pay $95 for a dish of pasta. What's going on? There is alignment is out the door, okay? Right? From their appearance that they are giving through the cheap tablecloth and the paper plates and the plastic silverware, right? To this like menu that is in French, has fancy words, and $95. The appearance and what the person says that they're getting with their dinner, like the experience and the meal is off, right? Very off, right? And so I don't know what you're going to do. Maybe go out, probably not stay there, right? Or ask, hey, did I get the right menu? But there's not alignment, and it's going to cost that business money. time and impact from having that not be aligned. And that's what it is costing you in your business. It's costing you time, it's costing you money, and it is costing you impact. So, why is this happening? Well, this is happening because there's an identity gap between what you are saying your identity is, what you are saying your business is, who you are saying what clients you are helping, like the kind of female entrepreneur you are, and what you are saying through your clothes. They are not aligned. And it is costing you more than you think. So, like I said, it would be costing them time, money, impact. So that's what we're going to talk about, how it is costing you all three of those things as well. So it is costing you time. And how is this happening? Well, what does someone really need in before they want to buy something? They want to trust the brand, right? And there's actually an Edelman Trust Barometer, it's called. So they do research and such, and really understand like people's buying patterns. And so they found that 81% of people that buy from brands trust the brand. 81%. That is a huge amount, right? And so there's many different things that lead up to trust, right? But one of those things that is so important for really getting that trust is consistency. Trust equals consistency. So when you are unaligned with your appearance and with your what you are saying, you are trying to show to the people that see you that are interested are two different things. When you are not catching their eye and they're not just automatically being like, ooh, she is credible, she has authority, her business must be amazing. When that is happening, there's inconsistency. And so there's a lack of trust with people that are seeing you. And so a couple different scenarios, right, would be that someone sees you somewhere as you are entering the room and they don't really give you another thought. They're like, oh, she's nice, you know? And so there aren't any really interactions that happen later in that room. And so they may never enter your world again, and you could have lost a potential client. Or another scenario could be that, they do end up connecting with you maybe later on social media, but it takes you longer to really earn that trust. And so it's taking you time. In both scenarios, it is taking you time to fill that inner circle offer that you want to. Now, it is also costing you money. When you are inconsistent, you're putting like a price ceiling on your appearance and the different things. How you show your business is really puts a like price ceiling on what you offer. That's what people see. So for like example, um, as someone went into the restaurant and started experiencing that restaurant, they probably kind of had like a price range in their mind of like, okay, this is probably how much it's going to cost me to eat here, right? And so when they thought it was way down here and then the menu is way up here, um, highly doubtful that that restaurant is going to get $95 for that pasta dish, right? So they, by their appearance, put a ceiling of like, okay, to the customer of like, okay, this is probably how much I'm going to want to pay for eating here. And you could be doing that with your appearance too. You could be showing them I'm a little credible, or um, this is how well we do our business. This is who we serve. And so as they get that information in their mind from your appearance, and then they maybe see a price later on or hear a price, they're like, well, what? Maybe they're talking to their neighbor and their neighbor's like, oh yeah, I did a challenge with her and her offer starts at so and so price. And they're like, her? What? So there's a gap. There's a ceiling limit that you are really putting on your price. So, like I said, either it takes more time and eventually you get that money, or they're like, no, I'm not going to do that. And she just does not seem worth it. And so they don't buy from you. And so you lose money and cost potential customers. And thirdly is that it could be costing you impact. And as a female entrepreneur, faith-filled founder, I know that this business, the reason why, one of the reasons why you have it is because you are wanting to create the impact that God has for you, right? And here's the thing is that when we are showing, with our appearance, not only are we showing others and sending others messages about how credible we are, what our business is like, we are also sending a message to ourselves of who our identity is. And so when we are showing the identity of something less than we truly are or truly are working towards, it is much easier to do actions on that smaller identity. And so you may have some big goals and maybe you're having a rough day. You start seeing yourself as that smaller identity, partially from your appearance. And so you don't email that podcaster, that woman that has an amazing business and you've wanted to be on her podcast for a long time and you finally got the nerve to ask her and then you're like, no, I can't do it, not yet. And so you delay that impact that you could be having with your business by not being fully aligned with your identity. So these are so many important things in your business, right? You want to have the time, more time to scale. You want to have more money in your scaling so that you can do amazing things with it. And you want to have the greatest impact that God has for you, right? Your appearance, your look, your hair, your clothes, all of that, your makeup is so important in really being able to transform or transfer that identity of who you are, who your business is, and show that to the world, show that to the rooms, and show how credible you and your business are, your brand. So, that is why it may be stopping you, and that is what it is costing you. So let's talk about, okay, how can we kind of like see, am I in that gap of really, here's my appearance and here's my business level. Here is who I am. Here is how I serve. So here's a few things that you really want to think about. And I want to give you a takeaway. So I would highly recommend um, looking in your closet and looking at your overall image too. So, but let's start in your closet, okay? And pull out 3 to 5 things that you wear often for your business. And I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Does it look intentional? Does it look like custom to me, these pieces? And does it look like something that my best client would be looking for in the person that they want to work with? And you can do this as well, just, like to, along with taking those pieces out of your closet, also just like take a look in the mirror sometime when you are like fully ready, done for, not done, but like, well, done getting dressed in the morning and just look at your full image and ask those 3 things. Maybe start with the clothes if that's easier. So intentional. There is something called the halo effect, and it's a cognitive bias. And so our brain just loves to like think about something, judge something, and then confirm that judgment and just kind of do its own, make its own pathway on that one judgment. So, for example, let's say you meet a new woman at the at like a networking group, and you're sitting with her at the table, and you talk with her a little bit, and you're like, oh, she's really kind, and you don't really hear a ton about her business yet, but you're like, I bet she is very smart and does really well in her business. Your brain will just like go off that first judgment of, oh, she's kind. It will just start assuming things to go along with that, and it will actually look for evidence of that. Now, that can go positive or negative. So, for example, if someone, for looking like, is my look intentional? If someone sees, oh yes, she looks like very intentional with her outfit. Like she put some thought into that. A thought then with that halo effect that they could have is she's that intentional with her look. I bet she's very intentional with her business. I bet she is very intentional getting clients the results because she's intentional with how she runs her business. That's why you need to look intentional with your clothes. And so what does this kind of look like? Well, like when was the last time you were really intentional? When was the last time that you really thought about what you were wearing instead of like, oh, these pants and this shirt, yeah, this should be good enough. Have you thought about like when you got them last? Are they up to date? Um, you know, would here's something good to really think too is this kind of goes along with step three, but would the person think of a person in your industry that is kind of where you are working towards? Would this person wear that? Like, just think. Have I put much thought into these 3 to 5 pieces, or are they just kind of there because they look good, kind of, right? Just think, how intentional have I been? Or has it kind of gone back on the back burner? Because people will see that. And then number two was like, how well is it looking on you? Is it like, does it look custom for you? And a couple different areas is it fitting you well? Is it meant for your body shape? And you might be like, well, I don't know exactly all of that. And that's totally fine. But you can kind of tell somewhat, right? Like if a piece is tight in one area and really loose and you go up and down sizes, I mean, we can all agree that it probably is not best for your body shape, right? Like it's not fitting right. If something's not fitting right, something's pulling or something's super baggy, it probably isn't the right size or right for your body shape, right? So is it right for you specifically? Is it right for your body? Also, with colors, color analysis is really popular right now, right? And there's a reason because some colors make you glow and some make you washed out. Some make you look really tired and some look you like you look healthy and energized. Those are things that will contribute to really gaining that credibility, really matching your what you say your identity is and what you are showing your identity as this high level, high achieving female faith-filled founder, right? So those are things to think about. When was the last time you like have you looked in the mirror quick and that's not it doesn't look right on me, but whatever, I have it, I'm going to wear it. All of those things are important. There was actually a study done with some men, some businessmen, and basically the principle that it showed was that the more like custom pieces are pieces that you're wearing, the more custom they look, the higher that these men scored on credibility, on trustworthiness, so many different things. So you want to think like, okay, are these pieces really looking like they are meant for me? Or did I just kind of put in my closet, said they look business, they look professional, we are good to go. That is something you really want to think about, and that is going to affect your brand identity, your identity, aligning with your identity and your credibility. And thirdly, um, you really want to think, what are your clients looking for? With this new level that you are at, if you have gotten to a new level recently or your current level in business, I would say honestly, think back of like when was the last time that I added new clothes, like a decent amount of clothes, or was intentional with my wardrobe, with my overall look. How long ago was that? And at what level was I then in my business? And where am I now? And then think like, okay, these clients that I am wanting, what are they really looking for? And it's not always dressier. Some cases, it kind of depends in what industry you're at. Like if obviously if you are in something like fitness industry, not so much necessarily. It might be a little more casual than someone that, let's say, is a coach for rentals or real estate. There might be a little gap, but those three things that we talked about, and we're talking about the third one. So looking, our clothes looking intentional, looking like they are made for us, and really thinking about what is the client's customer looking for when they think of like, oh, I want to work with a coach or a consultant like this, a speaker. I want to see work with a speaker like this. Um, like what is in their mind? And here's something too. People have asked, like, how dressy do I need to be? A good rule overall is to dress like a step above what your client is. However, there is a pivot in that of like maybe you are a food coach and your client dresses in all designer clothes. You do not have to go that high, but also like realize that there is a high standard and it may not be completely something that you would do normally, but as a business, we're there to serve our clients. We're there to really be that business for them. So you may dress dressier than you would normally think, than you would normally want to, but it's for the clients, it's for serving the clients. And you have a whole other time during the day that you can dress for yourself, right? So really think about, okay, what is that best client looking for? What level of dress? But a lot of times, like I said, is you can do um minimum like her level, but just going a little bit dressier, a little bit more intentional, a little bit more custom than her just shows that extra credibility for you. So, yeah, those are three things that you can start looking. And like I said, 2 to 3 to 5 pieces, but also look, okay, my hair, how is it looking? Does it look intentional? Does it look like it's best for me? There's so much that we could go into about face shapes and hair. And then about your makeup even. Whether you are someone that does not wear makeup, much makeup at all, or someone that does, um, having, if you're on the side of not much makeup, having some color on your face to really draw their eyes to your face, even if it is a tinted lip balm, so important. You want them to look at you. Or if you do wear a lot of makeup, are you being intentional? Are the colors making your face look bright and energized and excited? Those are all things to think about. And all of that combined is really going to help you be able to step into the rooms, those high-level rooms and really help show ladies before you ever say a word, or men, depending on who you serve, before you ever say a word, you get their attention. They try to talk to you, or maybe they ask others about you. And eventually, if that good fit is there, if they are someone that God has for you to impact, the sale is coming your way, depending on how fast they buy, right? How much they get to know you. But you will save time and you will save money and you will make more impact when your appearance is aligned with who your identity is for you and your business. So I would love if you would like to message me on Instagram if this was um, maybe a different something you hadn't thought about, or if there was a key takeaway that you didn't really think of before, or if you do what I said about the doing that takeaway about taking out the 3 to 5 pieces and maybe start going to a store and getting some new pieces and be like, okay, this does look intentional. This does, from what I can tell, make my face look brighter, fit my body really well. I would love to see pictures or just hear about it. So I'm at Nikki Henricks on Instagram. But also, if you are really seeing, okay, yeah, this is costing me time, money, and impact, I need to focus on this. I would really love to invite you to my curated brand look where we will make sure that all of your outfits are checking those boxes so that before you say a word, you are standing this high with credibility to others in the room. And they can really truly see who you are as a female founder, someone that gets her clients amazing results. So, um, comment below if you are interested in that. DM me. But until next time, know that I am cheering you on